Silence your excuses for a moment and listen carefully. Discipline does not arrive when you feel ready, motivated, or inspired. It arrives when you stop negotiating with yourself and begin obeying a system that does not care how you feel. In ancient Japan, warriors understood this truth so deeply that they built their entire lives around it, long before modern psychology gave it a name. Long before self-help books and productivity theories, the Japanese spoke of two forces that shape an unbreakable human being. One was Shitsuke, the discipline of correct training repeated until it becomes natural. The other was Gaman, the quiet endurance to withstand pain, boredom, and discomfort without complaint. Together, they formed a way of life that produced monks, craftsmen, and samurai who could endure what others could not. Miyamoto Musashi, undefeated in over 60 duels, never spoke of motivation. He spoke of training so consistent that the mind no longer rebels. In his writings, he warned that the enemy is not outside but within, hiding in hesitation, comfort, and delay. The warrior who wins is not the strongest, but the one who does not break rhythm. This story follows that principle through the life of one ordinary modern man. Not a hero, not a genius, but someone deeply familiar with failure. Through him, the ancient system reveals itself, not as theory, but as a living force that reshapes identity over time. Chapter 1. The Weight of Inconsistency. At 30 years old, William sat alone on the floor of his apartment, surrounded by unfinished intentions. Another resignation letter lay open in his hands, identical to the ones that came before it. Jobs, relationships, plans, all beginning with hope and ending the same way, quietly abandoned. Nothing dramatic had ruined his life, only repetition of quitting. William was not lazy in the obvious sense. He worked hard at the beginning of everything, burning brightly for a short time. But effort without continuity had left him exhausted and ashamed. Each failure made the next beginning heavier, until even starting felt pointless. That night, something shifted. For the first time, William stopped blaming circumstances and looked at the pattern itself. The problem was not opportunity or talent. The problem was that he could not endure the slow, silent middle where results refused to appear. He searched not for inspiration, but for understanding. That search led him away from modern advice and toward ancient Japanese thought, where discipline was treated not as a personality trait, but as a trained behavior. There he encountered the word Shitsuke, described not as punishment, but as self-order maintained over time. Chapter 2. Shitsuke, the discipline of design. In Japanese tradition, Shitsuke is not enforced through force of will. It is embedded into structure. Children bow before entering classrooms not because they feel like it, but because the environment demands it. The behavior becomes natural because resistance is removed. William realized his life was designed for failure. Every day required constant decisions, negotiations, and internal arguments. Should I work now or later? Should I exercise today or tomorrow? Each choice drained him, and eventually he chose the easiest path. Not because he wanted to quit, but because quitting required less resistance. Musashi warned that a warrior who hesitates has already lost. Not because of fear, but because hesitation fractures resolve. Shitsuke exists to eliminate hesitation entirely by making the correct action automatic. William decided to rebuild his life not through ambition, but through structure. He chose one action so small it felt almost insulting. 5 emails each day, sent at the same time, in the same place, without variation. No scaling, no optimization, no expansion. He prepared his environment carefully. The laptop waited open. The list was ready. No distractions were allowed nearby. There was nothing heroic about the task, and that was precisely the point. Shitsuke demands humility at the beginning. Chapter 3. Gaman, endurance without drama. The second concept William encountered was Gaman, a quiet strength rarely spoken aloud. In Japan, children are taught early that discomfort is not an emergency. Cold, boredom, fatigue, and frustration are not signals to stop. They are simply conditions to endure. William recognized himself immediately in the opposite behavior. Every discomfort had become a reason to withdraw. Tired meant stop. Bored meant quit. Uncertainty meant escape. He had trained himself to obey discomfort without realizing it. The first days of his new system felt trivial, but resistance appeared immediately. His mind whispered that 5 emails were meaningless, that skipping one day would not matter. that results should come faster. Each thought carried discomfort, and each one demanded surrender. Gaman did not mean forcing enthusiasm. It meant acting without enthusiasm. William sent the emails while feeling nothing but resistance. He did not feel proud or inspired. He simply endured the moment without complaint. Something subtle began to change. He was no longer asking whether he felt like acting. The system decided for him. And when the system spoke, he obeyed. Chapter 4. The Slow Birth of Identity. Weeks passed with little external reward. Most people would have stopped by then, and previously, William would have too. But something different was happening beneath the surface. He was accumulating evidence, not of success, but of reliability. Each completed day became a quiet vote for a new identity. Not the identity of someone successful, but someone consistent. Musashi wrote that the path is walked one step at a time, and that skipping steps weakens the soul. William began to trust himself for the first time, not because life was improving dramatically, but because his behavior was stable. That stability brought calm, and calm made further action possible. When the first small success finally arrived, it felt almost secondary. The true victory had already occurred. He no longer depended on outcomes to justify effort. Effort had become its own justification. Chapter 5. The Body as a Teacher. With his work stabilized, William turned toward his neglected body. Once again, he resisted the urge to begin dramatically. No intense training, no transformation plan. Just movement, performed daily, without exception. 400 meters. A distance so short it invited ridicule. Yet in Zen practice, monks sweep floors not to clean, but to train presence. The action matters less than the continuity. The early runs were uncomfortable, slow, and humbling. His body complained loudly. His mind searched for excuses. Weather, fatigue, embarrassment, all surfaced as reasons to stop. Each day, Gaman answered quietly, endure. Move. Finish. Do not argue. Over time, the body adapted, but more importantly, the mind stopped resisting. The run became part of the day, like breathing. No celebration followed completion. No reward was necessary. Chapter 6. When structure breaks. True discipline reveals itself when routine collapses. Travel disrupted William's environment, removing the cues that made consistency easy. This was the moment when many habits die. Instead of abandoning the system, William adapted it. He preserved the action even if the form changed. Shorter runs replaced long ones. Fewer emails replaced full sessions. The flame remained lit. Shitsuke had built the external system, but Gaman now sustained the internal one. The behavior no longer depended on comfort or convenience. It belonged to him. Musashi taught that the true warrior carries the path within, not around him. William understood this now. Discipline was no longer fragile. Chapter 7. The Long Horizon. Months became years. Results accumulated quietly. Income stabilized. Health improved. But the most profound change was invisible. William no longer feared effort. He did not consider himself exceptional. He had simply removed the option to quit. Each day flowed into the next without drama. People noticed his reliability. Trust followed. Opportunities emerged naturally, without chasing. In a world of unfinished promises, someone who finishes stands apart. William understood that discipline was not about control, but about freedom. Freedom from internal conflict. Freedom from restarting. Freedom from regret. Chapter 8. The Samurai's Lesson. The samurai did not train to feel confident. They trained to remove hesitation. Through repetition, action became inevitable. That inevitability was peace. Shitsuke creates the path. Gaman keeps you on it when the path becomes difficult. Together, they shape a person who does not need motivation. William now teaches others the same truth. Begin smaller than your pride allows. Remove decision-making. Endure discomfort without commentary. Never allow gaps to form. This is not a method for quick transformation. It is a way of becoming someone who does not collapse under time. Conclusion: walking the path. Discipline is not built through intensity. It is built through continuity. The ancient Japanese understood that strength emerges from quiet repetition, not emotional peaks. If you seek change, do not seek excitement, seek order. Choose one action small enough to survive your worst days. Perform it without negotiation. Endure the boredom. Endure the doubt. Endure the silence. In that endurance, something permanent forms. Walk the path calmly. Train without drama. Let time do the work. And last, don't forget to like the video, and please hit subscribe. And thanks for watching.